This video is designed as a review for introduction to tissue, epithelial tissues. Cells are organized together into functional groups called tissues. These groups of cells function together to perform a specialized task. There are four basic types of tissues. Epithelial tissues, which cover body surfaces, line body cavities, and form certain glands. Connective tissue, which protect, support, bind organs together, as well as other functions. Muscle tissue, whose primary function is movement. And nervous tissue, which initiates and transmits messages in the form of nerve impulses. The first tissue we'll talk about is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue covers body surfaces, lines internal body surfaces. All epithelium consists of closely packed cells with little or no space between them. They may be a single layer cell layer thick, or they may be multi-layered. They're usually associated with a lower layer of connective tissue. A special collagenous protein firmly adheres the layer of epithelium to this connective tissue. This non-living layer that binds the epithelium to the connective tissue below it is called the basement membrane. Another characteristic of epithelium is that it always has a free surface. The free surface is the surface that is opposite the basement membrane. As a rule, epithelial tissue is avascular. That means that it does not have blood vessels. Epithelial tissues are named from the type of layering that they have and from the shape of the cells that they have. Simple types of epithelium have only a single layer of cells and are found where there is minimal wear and tear. Stratified refers to multi-layered cells. This is usually found where there is a high degree of wear and tear. Pseudostratified refers to a single layer that appears to be multi-layered because some of the cells don't reach the surface. Cell shapes include squamous. Squamous means flat and scale-like. These cells are very thin. Cuboidal. These are cube-shaped. Under the microscope, they will probably appear square or sometimes a little rectangular. Columnar. These are tall, cylindrical-shaped cells. They will look rectangular. And transitional. Transitional means that they can change shapes, that they can become, they're usually columnar in the lower levels, and then may become cuboidal in shape to even very squamous in shape at the upper surface. The first tissue that we're going to look at is the one now on your screen. This is simple squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium consists of a single layer of very thin, flat, scale-like cells that are adapted for diffusion, osmosis, and filtration. Simple squamous epithelium forms the lining for the air sacs, the heart, lining of blood vessels, and lymphatic vessels. It also forms the walls of capillaries. Simple squamous epithelium may sometimes be called mesothelium when it lines the ventral body cavity, or it may be called endothelium when it lines blood vessels or the chambers of the heart. Because the blood vessels, the lungs, are places where diffusion takes place, then it stands to reason that these cells should be very thin and that there be only a single layer of them. Let's look at this simple squamous epithelium on the screen. This is on scanning. We're magnifying only 40 times here. Let's go to low power. Open our diaphragm. Allow more light in. We can see the cells very clearly now. The nucleus of each cell is located near the center. These are very, very thin, as you can see. You can almost see through these cells. The cell membrane that surrounds each cell. A very thin pink cytoplasm that you can see. You can see in some places that these cells are kind of folded over, illustrating how thin they are. Here's where two cells overlap a little bit. You can tell how thin they really must be. We'll go to high power now. Open our diaphragm some more and let some more light in. Here we see these cells again. Very clear nucleus here in the center. Cytoplasm out in here, surrounded by the cell membrane. These cells have been scraped from the surface so that you really cannot identify a basement membrane or connective tissue. These cells have been removed from their underlying tissues. This is simple squamous epithelium. Our next tissue is simple cuboidal epithelium. This tissue consists of a single layer of somewhat cube-shaped cells with a large centrally located nucleus inside each cell. On the slide that you will be given for this tissue, if you'll look down near the tip, you usually find some openings, some rounded openings, and the best place to locate these cells are around these rounded openings. This tissue, simple cuboidal epithelium, covers the surface of the ovaries, lines the inner surface of the cornea of the eye, the inner surface of the lens of the eye. It lines the kidney tubules and the smaller ducts of many glands. It functions primarily in secretion and absorption. If we'll look at this tissue, we're going to go up on we're on scanning here, we're going to go up to low power, open our diaphragm a little bit, allow in some more light. We're going to pick out a rounded opening and go up on high power now. Open our diaphragm. This is a kidney tubule that has been cut through. Now this whole piece of tissue on your slide is a piece of kidney tissue. This open space in the middle is the opening or the open part of the tube. This is called a lumen. The free surface then is the surface of the cells that lines this lumen. This would be the free surface here and along here. The free surface over here. This would be the free surface coming down here. Here we have a pretty good cube-shaped cell illustrating this simple cuboidal epithelium. The basement membrane would be located in this area. You have only one cell layer thick from here to here. Therefore, it is simple tissue. This tissue out in here is connective tissue. And so the basement membrane located here and extending around the outside, along through here, down through here, binds the epithelial tissue here with the connective